what he asked her to do. But in the end she realized the harsh truth of death. Q.2 What did Kisa Gautami say to Gautama Buddha? What reply did Gautama Buddha give to her? Ans. Kisa Gautami reached Gautama Buddha. She told him everything about her son. He was now dead. She requested him to give medicine to cure her son. The Buddha asked her to bring a handful of mustard seed. But he laid a condition. It must be from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent or friend. It means where death has not occurred. Q.3 What did Buddha want Kisa Gautami to understand? Ans. Gautama Buddha wanted Kisa Gautami to understand the great truth of life. It was that all those who are born are to die one day. A ripe fruit has to fall one day. So all the mortals shall die one day. Death was inevitable and sure. No one can avoid it. Q.4 How did Kisa Gautami realize that life and death is a normal process? Ans. Kisa Gautami realized that life and death is a normal process after Buddha asked her to get a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no loved one had ever died. When she went to all the houses, she realized that there is no one in the world whose dear ones hadn't died. Death is common to all. Q.5 Who, according to Buddha, will obtain peace? Ans. According to Buddha, one who seeks peace should draw out the arrows of lamentation, complaint and grief from one's heart. He, who has become composed, will finally obtain peace of mind. Q.6 When her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house. What was the result? Ans. When her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house asking for medicine to cure her son. She does not get any because there is no medicine to bring back a dead person to life. Q.7 How did Prince Siddhartha get exposure to spiritual knowledge? Ans. Once, Prince Siddhartha went on a hunt. There he came across a sick man, an old man, a monk asking for alms and a funeral procession. Unable to find out the reason for those sufferings, he went in search of spiritual knowledge. Q.8 What message might the Buddhist story hold for those who are in positions of power and privilege? Ans. The story of Buddha is an eye-opener for those who are in positions of power and privileges. Materialistic possessions can never give peace of mind to anybody. A person's real aim in life is to attain inner peace and love for God. People who hold power and positions are always engrossed in worldly pleasures. They are unknown to the sufferings of human life. Q.9 What was Gautam Buddha's life before he became Buddha? Ans. Buddha was a prince named Siddhartha Gautama in northern India. At 12, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures and 4 years later, he returned home to marry a princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. 10 What does the Buddha say about the world? Ans. Buddha says that everything in this world is transitory. Those who are born have to die someday. Humans of the world are suffering from a lot of pains and problems. Yet everybody is engrossed in the worldly pleasures of possessions. Sermon at Benaras, Kisa Gautami runs from house to house in search of a medicine for her dead child. Imagine yourself as the writer of the story and write an imaginary conversation Kisa Gautami had with a lady of the house that Kisa went to ask for the medicine. Ans. Kisa Gautami. Anxiously, is anybody at home? Please help me. Lady. Oh dear, who are you, and what do you need? Kisa Gautami. My son is dead, he is my only child. I need a medicine to cure him and bring him back to life. Please help me. Lady. I am so sorry to hear about your loss, lady. wish I could help you, but alas, no one can help you in this. Your son is no more. Please accept this harsh reality and have patience. No medicine can bring him back, dear. Kisa Gatami, crying, no. He will be all right if someone gives me the medicine to cure him. Tell me if you have, else I may ask other people. I don't have a lot of time. Lady, I am sorry. I can't help you, dear. Q.2 Life is full of trials and tribulations. Kisa Gatami also passes through a period of grief in her life. How does she behave in those circumstances? What lesson does a reader learn from the story of her life? Give any 2 points how you would like to act in the midst of adverse circumstances. Ends. Kisa Gatami's only son had died. Grief-stricken, she went about asking people for medicine to revive her dead son. At the behest of a man, she went to the Buddha, who said he would cure her son only if she could gather some mustard seeds from a house where no death had ever taken place. After knocking several doors and being unsuccessful, she realized that death was common to all and it could not be avoided. No one can save anyone, so weeping over a dead soul was fruitless. It was wise to stop grieving and accept the truth. Grieving over what is lost would only cause more pain and suffering, and even then, cannot bring one back to life. Accept life as it comes, be grateful and live it to the fullest with peace of mind and good health. Q.3 The Buddha said, the world is afflicted with death and decay, therefore the wise do not grieve, knowing the terms of the world. Do you think the statement is appropriate even for today's life? Write your views in the context of the above statement. Ends. This statement is appropriate even for today's life. We must know that this world is subject to death. Anybody who is born has to die one day. If we look into the past, we shall find that numberless people have died due to natural deaths. So, death is a hard and harsh reality. No one can escape it, as the ripe fruit has to fall down on the earth dead, one day, so a person has to die after he grows old. Since it is a hard truth, the wise persons know it. They know that they, too, shall die one day, so they do not grieve as they know the ultimate truth. They are those who have overcome all sorrow and are not moved in it. Those wise men do not complain or grieve in deaths. X. Q.4 The life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. With this statement of the Buddha, find out the moral value that Kisa Gautami learned after the death of her child. Ends. It is a fact that the life of mortals in this world is full of troubles. It is brief and has pain. The tension of living is always there. So human life is a sad and unhappy experience. Death is a reality. Anyone who is born has to die one day. This reality is learned by Kisa Gautami after she goes from home to home. She does so to get mustard seeds from a house where death has not occurred. She doesn't get these. Then she realizes the basic truth of life. This is what Gautama, the Buddha, wanted to teach her. Wise men do not grieve at the death as they know this truth.
Thank you.